moves it out of the way, swings it around.
Hello out there. We're on the air with the Friday night's MoPac After Dark action, and looking outside, I can certify and testify that it is indeed dark outside, as we are about to get started with a game between Team Feldman from One Country Curling Club taking on Team Chen from Hollywood Curling Club. It's a matchup between two teams that curl primarily on arena ice, looking to see how they fare on dedicated ice. If I remember correctly, both teams are hunting for their first win of the tournament. We are doing pool play here. And just to let you guys know about the other games on the ice, on sheet A, we have a Team Endicott taking on Team Ewers. Endicott from Coyotes, a top team. Some cheers on the ice for the ice crew as they do a job well done. Team Ewers, again, has been a surprise in this tournament. They've been doing really well. Cheers for the ice crew. Have entered the warm room even. No applause for the next guy who comes in though, so just you had to be there for it. And some final practice slides, and we're about to begin the game. Sheet B features Team Howells from Hollywood Curling taking on Team Malarich of Silicon Valley. Sheet C, the sheet we're on, is our feature sheets. Again, a Team Feldman from One Country taking on Team Chen. Chen has the Yellow Rocks. On sheet D, as in, did you know that Team Siggins is playing Team Stephanie, pardon me. Team Siggins is from Coyotes and Stephanie is from One Country. So that's our slate tonight. We'll provide score updates as we go along, as it looks like we're about to get underway here on our feature sheets. Throwing the first rocks for Team Feldman is going to be Brian Feldman, one of three Feldmans taking part in this tournament. So Brian Feldman's been curling for 8 years. His previous experience includes bronze at Arena Nationals and reaching the quarterfinals thrice. Also, he reached the quarterfinals at the MoPac Men's Playdowns once, and was the MoPac Mixed Doubles Champion. And his rock settles in to about the center, as the first rock coming for the lead for Team Chen. That's Jasmine Hashi. Jasmine started curling in 2014 at Seattle's Granite Curling Club. Initially focused on the social aspect of the game, she's been on teams that have won the 2014 Granite Friday Spring League, the 2015 Granite 5 and Under, and the 2019 Granite April Spiel. She's since moved to LA and has pivoted to competitive curling. Next shot coming for Brian Feldman. So Jasmine's first shot is a high guard to the right. Brian, I think, is looking to draw around the center guard that he just threw. This looks pretty good. Looks like it gets around the cover and settles into the back button. Is shot. It's still very early in the game, and one thing that I think top curlers learn is that it doesn't necessarily matter if you're shot at the start of the end. It's always important if you're shot at the end of the end. Some teams learn that too late. And especially when you're on arena ice and you're learning the game, it's like sometimes you feel like you need to get shot and then just kind of hold on for dear life until the end of the end. And sometimes that works. A lot of the times that works. But when you get up against these tougher teams, it's not such a potent strategy. Jasmine's second shot, drawing around the high guard that she put up. Chen does have the hammer by the nature of throwing a stone closer to the center of the hole, which is how we measure things here in all things curling. This is the first rut coming from the second for Team Feldman. This is Leanne Shearing. She's been curling for 3 years. Her previous experience includes Arena Nationals, a bronze, 2021 semifinals at the U.S. Women's Curling Association Nationals, the MoPac 5 and under semis, and also participating in the 25 and under, and a whole bunch of fun spiels. And it looks like she was able to hit and roll off of the yellow Chen stone that was put in the top of the house. So it looks like the 5 rock rule is over, and so Skip Chen wants Tim Mendoza to do some clearing. Tim's been curling since 2007. Took part in the 2012 Club Nationals and the 2017 Mixed Nationals. And then curling out of Hollywood, he is a 2-time champion of the Summer Blockbuster Bonspiel. It is the Hollywood event of the year. If you ever have a chance to go, I haven't made it yet, but it sounds like just a fun event because they bring in celebrities, of the caliber that you might see on Dancing with the Stars, or maybe a tier below that. But then they also bring in curling celebrities, and the curling celebrities also tend to shine as bright, if not more so, than the celebrities. And I think in 2019, I believe, excuse me. 2019, I believe, they had a pair of earthquakes during the Blockbuster Bonspiel, maybe creating a blockbuster of their own. So it looks like Leanne was able to draw around the yellow guard that's closest to the center line. So this is Mendoza's next shots. So Feldman's piling the rocks in at this point. It looks like Chen's, I think, seeking to shake things up. Speaking of earthquakes, we're going to see some rocks move. He touches both reds and gets them both moving. One of the reds sits around and, oh, they're both gone. Double takeout for Tim Mendoza. Great shot there. Feldman is sitting 1 right now. Next shot coming for Cameron Spangler. He is the vice for Team Feldman. Curled for 9 years. Won bronze at the Arena Nationals. Reached the quarterfinals 3 times, and was the MoPac Club Playdowns. Reached the quarterfinals once. He has a fun fact that one time he could leap tall buildings in a single bound, but now it takes 2 bounds. So this draw looks really good. Chen was finishing it off, but it just helped it, I think, get ever so slightly further under the offset guards near the center. Looks like Chen wants his vice to follow Feldman down. The vice for Team Chen is Cindy and Denzel. She curled at the 2009 Club Nationals, won bronze. At the 2010 Nationals, the 2012 Club Nationals, and the 2014 Nationals. She, at one point, curled with another curler at this event, Gabriel Coleman. And Gabriel wrote about her experiences in a book that is available online and fine booksellers around the world, mostly online. Definitely, it's worth checking out. And that draw looks pretty sweet. On the button, corner frozen. Well, maybe a slight separation, but it looks like it's Feldman's shot for now as Cameron delivers his next rock. Rock's coming down the sheet here. This also looks pretty good. Kind of set up maybe some good angles, although it looks like it's over curled late. I was thinking it'd be possible if there weren't any guards that Chen could get both of the reds moving and have the yellow stick around. I've never made that shot, or at least I don't remember ever making that shot, but it'd be interesting to see. However, looks like he's just going to draw into the pile. It's early in the game. Teams are figuring out the ice here as Cindy gets set in the hatch. Pushes out. This is coming up a little light, actually. About 18 seconds hog to hog, which is one common way to time stones as they go down the ice. Common if you're a skipper and official. If you're if you're sweeping, it's really difficult to time hog to hog. So if you're a sweeper, timing from back line to hog or T line to hog are pretty common, just to give some point of reference to how the stone is, like how fast the stone might be going. It's not perfect, especially if your teammates have different delivery approaches. Like sometimes people might come to almost a complete halt before reaching the hog line and just shove the stone, and you can't get a precise time that way. First start coming now from Katie Feldman. She's been curling for 8 years. Her previous experience includes Arena Nationals, winning bronze twice, and was also the 2019 MoPac Mixed Doubles Champion. Curling out of Wine Country Curling. They're based out of Skate Town, I believe, in Roseville, California, just outside the Sacramento area. Roseville is an interesting community. I've been there a couple times. I haven't been to Skate Town, but just it's kind of it definitely kind of see the peaks and valleys of California culture there. But they have mini golf, so point in its favor. Not at Skate Town, but I guess if you bring a mini putt golf club, you could maybe putt until someone throws you out. This is Will Chen setting up for his shot. It looks like they're just going to draw into the pile. I think maybe Ken to give up a steal of one. But they're shaping up to have a potentially big end here if they were able to get rid of that yellow on the center, because they're sitting 3 in the house. Although it looks like yellow is shot right now. Hard to tell. This is Will Chen's first shot. Started curling in 2012 at Granite Curling in Seattle and moved to LA in 2020. This is his competitive curling season, singular. Hopefully it's the start of many more, but we'll see. The teams give us bios of their players, and that's what I'm basing a lot of this conversation off of. This looks like it's a little heavy and a little wide. Ooh, Spangler jumps on it late. So it looks yellow from the overhead in terms of who shot. So he might just be content. I think he was trying to set up a potential 2. And I wonder if it looks like, based on where Spangler has the room for his skip Feldman, that they're just going to be happy to draw into the pile and force Chen to 1. So Katie Feldman has a fun fact. She's been caffeine-free since November 2021. The bio says, ask her how, and she told me how. She went to Mexico, and instead of drinking caffeine, she had tequila sunrises. And then, so that got her off the caffeine, her headaches went away. And then when she got back to the States, she gave up tequila sunrises. So that is how you give up caffeine, apparently. So Feldman puts up a mid guard. I think they can still draw into the pile. The question is, how might you get 2 out of this? And I think, kind of based on what they might be looking at, it's harder now that that guard that Feldman put up is there. If they draw with maybe like back 4 to back 8 weight and hits the yellow on the side, the yellow shot stone on the center button there, it would be enough to, I think, to bump the red back, and then the shooter could roll, I think, to the side of the button for 2. I think that's what they're going for here. Okay, so shot will Chen. Looks like it's going to wreck on the guard. And that's it for the end. So I think it was 1 yellow. We'll see how they set up, but it's definitely 1 point for either team. So we're going to head to the second end in just a moment, when we return to the 2023 MoPac Mixed Playdowns, coming to you live from the Coyotes Curling Club in Tempe, Arizona. Live streaming of this and other regional competitions is powered by the clubs and members of the Mountain Pacific Curling Association. Our member serves to grow curling and foster competition in Arizona, California, Idaho, Nevada, Oregon, and Utah. Visit mopacca.org today to find a curling club near you or for help getting one started in your community. During the next end, we'll do a score update around the rings. Looks like most of the teams are finishing their first end, so there's not a lot of scores to report yet, but we'll have it when it comes up. And then we are also updating scores online at bonspieler.com. It's like a party, a curling party. That's a bonspieler, plus bonspieler.com. We'll have live scores throughout this weekend posted on that website. So it was 1 for Chen, and they take a 1-0 lead over Team Feldman. As we are now in the second end here. Apparently the lights are brighter in the on this side of the ice. I might have to sneak out and do a camera adjustment in a moment. Here's Brian Feldman with his first. So a fun fact about him is that he possibly likes his 2 Maine Coons named Penny and Leonard more than his teammates, which is a bold statement because he lives with one of the teammates. This is a little bit too hot, and Chen's going to sweep it from the premises. Like a shopkeeper sweeping the stoop clean back in old-timey days. Here's the net stone coming from Jasmine. So her competitive curling experience includes taking part in the 2019 Coyote Superhero 5 and under 5, the 2022 MoPac Women's Playdowns, and several other Bon Spiels. Looking to draw around here, it looks like, but it looks like it's going to over curl. It might, it's probably going to wick the guard, and wick indeed it does. So those are I think pretty decent guards for Team Chen. When you don't have the hammer, the common strategy to force the other team is to control the front of the house and down the center line there. So looks like a good start to the end for Team Chen. drops. Next shot coming from Brian Feldman. This looks pretty decent. Less weight. Chen moves to sweep it to the back 12. It's going to sit there, a full 12 in the back. Next rock coming from Tim Mendoza here. Looks like they're going to raise the yellow center guard there. And for people tuning in for the first time tonight, this is a competitive event that does lead to nationals. So we are playing with competitive rules. That includes sweepers using the orange brush pads that are of a known mediocre quality, just so everyone sweeps with a consistent amount of there's no competitive edge based on the fabric. They're also using time clocks. Each team gets a 90-second timeout during regulation and an additional one if it goes to an extra end. Additionally, there's a new rule this year, the no tick rule for the first 5 rocks of an end along the center line. If a rock is touching the center line, an opposing team cannot move it from that spot without incurring a penalty. If they do move the rock from the spot, the non-offending team could opt to reset the stone to where the original stone was, to put it back on the center line and remove the shooter. Or they can also say, hey, it's okay, it actually made our situation better. So there's a couple options for the no-tick rule. And I believe that is the end of the no-tick rule for the end, or this might be the last shot here. And again, it's for the first 5 rocks of the end. Here's Mendoza's next, coming down the way, looking to draw around those center-ish guards. Looks pretty close. It might be over curling late there. You can see it dig in. It just papers that. My goodness. Get some applause from the audience there. Maybe some gear action, as a prominent curling commentator notes. Gear effect. This next rock coming from Leanne Shearing. And fun fact about Leanne is that she is a Canadian who has never curled in Canada. Hard to believe. This is curling. He looks to make contact with one of the rocks and then rolls over to the right. The guard that Shearing hit goes through the house, out of play. So it looks like Chen is sitting 2 right now. The yellow in the top of the house is out counting the red in the back 12. And it looks like Chen wants to shut the door a little bit and is asking Cindy and Denzel to do the honors. I think any type of guard is good. It's really where the rock ends up, the line that she'll take. So Ashi and Mendoza walk it down, not even laying a broom on it as it curls to a mid-guard position. More of a tight guard. That would be a 3 zone if you are using the Furby zone system, which is the where the scoring area has been divided into 10 sections. The first 3 sections are the guard zone. The very top towards the hot line is 1. The area in front of the house is 3, and in the middle is 2. And then if you want to throw a 7, that's going to be on the T line on the button, and then the back is a 10, just like Bo Derek, which I've never seen the movie, but that's a pop culture reference for the kids. Looks like Cameron Spangler's throwing a bit of heat now for Team Feldman. Looking to blow things up. Gets one of the yellows and then moves the pile of reds over to the right. One of the reds will roll through the house and sit on the right edge in the playing area. So it looks like Chen, still setting 2, wants Cindy to again close the door. She did it once. We'll see if she can do it a second time. Her rock looks to be a little bit more weight this time. Let's see how it finishes here. It needs to curl about another 2 feet. Jasmine's putting a little polish on it late to try and coach it over, and not exactly where Chen wanted it, but it does end up in a good position. Next rock coming from Cameron Spangler. I think it's the second shot. Again, throwing some heat. I think just looking to move some granite around. This looks like it's going to clip the high yellow guard, and the shooter's going to roll to the side, out of play, as quickly as it arrives. So the strategy here for Chen is pretty straightforward. They don't have the hammer. They're looking to steal. As I mentioned at the top of the end, they want to control the front of the house and down the center in front of the house, and they've done that very well. They have 2 in the house in the center area, in the front of the house, and they're also putting guards into the front, really forcing Feldman to clear the guards to have a chance to attack the shot stones in the house. Looking for a guard here. This is Will Chen's first. So it looks like a sort of similar line to Cindy's last, although this is heavier and maybe a little bit wider, and it looks like it's going to maybe settle in at the top of the house. And that is, as the kids say, no bueno. Kids say the darndest things, by the way. Also, this is a joke. What sort of kids am I hanging out with? And the answer is none kids. I'm hanging out with none kids because I'm a grown man, and that would be weird. So. But moving on, looks like there's a double potential setup, so that's why it's no bueno. As Spangler has the broom set down for Katie Feldman's first of the end with the hammer. This is a really good double takeout opportunity for Team Feldman and Katie Feldman. It's definitely going to get some rocks flying, and also, like, I guess, a possible. I think ideally she wants to move the guards. They're not quite guards, but the rocks in the top of the house to get access to the shot stone. If there's like a really optimal outcome, it's to hit the center yellow with enough at the right angle to get access to the shot stone on the top 4. Her shot's underway. Feldman's cleaning. Looks like it's going to get one and the other one moving. And that yellow, one of the yellows rolls to the side and actually sets up a second shot, I believe. So Chen was sitting 3, and now they're sitting, appears to be 2. And Chen's response, I think, is to kind of block the path to the shot stone above the button there. So this is, definitely Feldman is going to have to work hard to get access to the shot stone, and it's probably going to be a force of 1 if Feldman makes her shots. Chen shots away. I think just looking to close the door, as it were, guard things up. This is looking pretty good for a guard. It's finishing up pretty nicely. And that is a really nice guard. So Feldman can't throw the same type of shot that she just threw because Chen is blocking the path. Being a regular Gandalf there. Saying, "You shall not pass." I would be yelling it. I would have no issues yelling it in this warm room, but I don't want to yell into my microphone because that's bad. That's bad juju there. So.
We're freaking out all the regulars.
So interesting situation here. It looks like Spangler has the broom down for Feldman to draw to the edge of the button. There's going to be some traffic. Also, it's a path I don't think they've been down very much this end. So it's relatively fresh ice for them. Looks like a possible plan B is if they crash on the red guard that's like near the center in the situation. They could maybe bump it back for shot, or at least cut Chen down to one rock. Pardon me. Her shot's underway. Sweepers are jumping on it. I definitely think weight's definitely going to be a key factor. Oh, and look at it, curl! My goodness. Looking for a plan. There's no plan W right now. So it does crash on the guard, but it crashes at an angle where they can't make anything out of it. So it is it's a steal at 2 there, I believe. So we're going to head to the third, and with Feldman holding the hammer, but Chen holds the lead. So we'll be back in just a moment when our coverage continues from the 2023 MoPac Mixed Playdowns. Going around the rings, it looks like we have a measure happening on sheet B. That's a game between Team Howells of Hollywood and Team Malarich of Silicon Valley. That should be a close game. Both teams looking to stay in the hunt as they have a measure going on. And let me call the action of that measure. The most exciting device in all of sport. That's all right. I'm good. I'm just looking at the action. Measuring, right? You know. So the measuring's coming down. Again, it's a pressure device to see how much pressure is put onto the gauge. He's saying it's red. And the red team is Team Howells of Hollywood. The upscale version of Fredericks of Hollywood. It's Howells of Hollywood. Visit where you find other fine boutiques. So it looks like red's on the board there. The first end, though, was Team Malarich. They got a 2. And then on sheet A, the game between Team Endicott of Coyotes and Team Ewers of Hollywood. Looks like Ewers started the scoring early with his 2 spots. I apologize. It looks like maybe the first name was blank, and then Ewers got 2. Ewers is one of the pleasant surprises of this tournament. They're really showing their stuff against some top teams, and we will see them tomorrow morning on our feature sheets. Sheet C, of course, is our feature sheets, where looking for a score. I know Chen did score, but how many of the scored is the question. On sheet D, as in Delta, I was going to say double plus good, which is a 1984 reference, but you know, that knee slapper of a comedy, 1984, right? As envisioned by George Orwell. I'm kidding. Kids love it though. Looks like Stephanie scored 1 in the first. They're heading to the third. Who scored in the second? 2? Okay, so Stephanie playing a tough Coyotes team in Team Sigmund, so if they can hold on, that would be a really solid win for Team Stephanie from Wine Country. And they are just into the third end here, so we're going to return to our feature sheets. And on the feature sheets, looks like Brian Feldman's about to throw a second rock here as Feldman has a rock in the back of the house, but Chen's sitting on top of it. Looks like Brian is kind of drawing into the pile there. And basically knocks his own rock out, and the shooter rolls to the bat 4. So we're going to take a technical pause in the action or the commentary while I reset some stuff. But we will be back as soon as we can, as soon as I can come up with better jokes, which might be a while. So, but please enjoy this split screen action. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Had to fix some cameras. Hopefully they're going to be a little bit more color corrected. Now it's a little too dark, but I guess you can't get everything you want. Just like that song from the Rolling Stones about not getting everything you want. Helter Skelter. Is that a Rolling Stones song? Or is that a Beatles song? I don't know. The kids aren't saying. But here is Cindy and Gonzalez net shot coming. Looks like they wanted a little bit of mustard on this shot. Looking to get rid of that red. Does get that red moving. And so it looks like Chen is sitting 2 rocks. One is sitting on the center line. And I think a potential for Cameron Spangler to do a bit of a hit and roll there. That seems to be the how Feldman has the broom positions for a hit and roll. Now I'm trying to think of Rolling Stones songs. This is going to be a painful night because I don't know a lot of Rolling Stones songs. I mean, I could Google it, but what's the fun in that? So it does hit the shot stone. Cameron is now shot rocked to the top of the 8 foot along the center line, and we're already to skip stones just like that. And let's see here. Did they post the score on for Chen in the second end? Okay, so they scored 2. Thank you. It's 3-0. Chen as he delivers his first here in the third end. And once again, scores are being posted on bondspieler.com. Just like bonbons, but without the bon or the bon. He does make contact with the red. That's bondspieler.com, minus the jokes, but plus line scores. I think people have tried to tell jokes through line scores, and it's not as effective as you would think. So Feldman has a pretty wide open house to draw to. They have a high mid guard roughly that Chen's put up that they can draw around. That seems to be the shot that Feldman's asked for as Cameron Spangler has the broom down. Feldman gets set in the hack, and here's her delivery. It's really good seeing some of these releases. There's not like one true perfect release for everyone, but it's really good to see how everyone's found a release that works for them. This shot looks to be pretty good. I think it's around the, it definitely is around the guard. Settling in the back of the house. 4 shots. There's a bit of a jam possibility if Chen attacked it with vigor. But it doesn't look like that Chen's going to do that. It looks like he's going to draw in on top of the red. And depending on how the shot's made, I think force Feldman to 1. I guess that's kind of the optimal outcome. If Chen's a little bit light, it narrows the scoring area, so then Feldman has a chance for 2, but it's harder to get that 2. As Chen gets set in the hack. Here we go. Another nice release there. Mendoza's sweeping it. Now Jasmine joins in. Weight's going to be an issue here. It looks to be a little on the light side. And I think it might, the way it's curling up, I think it might be, oh, it's not going to get there. it's going to stay in the top 4. So that's, I mean, again, as I said, it's probably not the ideal outcome that they were looking for, but it does narrow the scoring area. So now Feldman needs to draw closer to the center of the circle than that yellow rock, but there is a pretty wide open area to draw in for 2 points, and that'll help Feldman get a jump back into this game. So facing 2, oh no, sorry. Having 1 in the hand right now, Feldman has a chance for 2. I should kind of ask Spangler to put the broom a little bit more out. And she gets set in the hat. And we're underway here. Looks like a good release. The weight's pretty good. Sweeper's jumping it pretty early. I say it looks pretty good. It could be a smidge on the light side. Sweepers are going really hard. I think when you're, and look at it, curl up. Spangler now jumps out to help. It needs to get there, and Spangler jumps off as it's not going to have the mustard to get there. And it's going to be just the one for Feldman as her last shot comes up just a smidge short. And but Feldman's on the board. But Chen has the hammer and the leads coming home into the 4th end. We'll be back in a moment as we continue with the 2023 MoPac Mixed Playdowns, coming to you live from Coyotes Curling Club in Tempe, Arizona. Just steps away from the airport. And by steps, I mean probably like 1.5 miles, 2 miles, but steps nonetheless. We'll be back. Rods in play. We are underway here in the 4th end of possible 8 ends of regulation here at the 2023 MoPac Mixed Playdowns. It's the mixed team format of 4 players. It's not the mixed doubles format that you might have seen on TV during the Olympics. As Brian Feldman's shot is just a smidge heavy, it's going to go back to the back 12 and will sit there. The mixed team format is 4 players, alternating between men and women. So the lineup could be either man, woman, or woman, man. And we have a couple teams in the field that are sticked by women. It's not as common, but it does, it is, we see it represented here at this event. So for Team Feldman, it's man, woman. Here we're going to see Jasmine throwing her first here. And we're also playing 8 ends, as I mentioned. We are playing the competitive rules. I mentioned the broom pads before, the clocks. We're playing 8 ends of regulation, and that also means that we will take a 5-minute halftime break after the 4th end. Tonight we're going to have a hologram of Michael Jackson perform during the halftime show. But again, we don't have the rights to show it, so we will not be airing it. My apologies, but you have to be here. I mean, it really gets people into this arena to see the hologram Michael Jackson perform a curling-based halftime show. It's amazing. But again, we can't air it. But we will be taking a 5-minute break after this end. So Jasmine's shot goes in the house on the 8 foot there. Looks like trying to put a guard down the center, but this is also going heavy. It's going to the back. It's going to sit down on the right on the lid there, covering the pin. So I don't know if that's exactly what they wanted, but it worked out. Now Chen is now doing some cleanup duty here. So as Jasmine gets set in the hat here, looking for, I think, at least to get rid of the shot stone on the button, and then there's a possibility for a double as Jasmine does her release. I think it floated a little bit wide, just based on the release. It looks like it's floated wide, but there should be a plan B to take care of the red in the back of the house, and it does clip that back red, so it does accomplish something. So now it looks like Leanne Shearing is going to be asked to draw and provide some center cover for the shot stone. So the weight looks to be a little up again. Maybe looking for a plan B to maybe freeze it on top to make it harder to get rid of both of those stones. Brian Feldman jumps in to finish it, and it looks like it will not quite freeze, but it does provide some cover. There's a potential double there for Tim Mendoza. So the double's there. There's about 1.5 feet of separation between the two reds in the house as Mendoza makes his delivery. Just watching it go down the sheet here. Looks like it's going to hit the top red. Gets one, and then the first red that was run back rolls to the 4 foot on the left side. So a good outcome for Hernandez. It would be good to get rid of both of them, but a good outcome. As Feldman, I think, considers her options. I think looking to draw around here, I would perhaps think about getting rid of at least one of the yellows to avoid giving up a big end. But the room's down, and Leanne is underway with her delivery. So this looks like a draw. Ooh, just a little heavy. No, just sorry. It was a little light as it crashed into the yellow. That's what I meant to say. It was light. It does kind of bump the yellow toward the red on the left side of the sheets. So Will Chen's looking at running the yellow back onto the red, and then yellow would be sitting shots. And also be sitting 2, I believe, because that red that came into the house is now 4th shot. So looks like Feldman is 1st and 4th shots, while Chen is 2nd and 3rd. Mendoza's shots underway. Looking for some heat again. This looks like it might. It looks like it's finishing okay. Gets one, gets the red out, but the yellow that was run back rolls through the house. So it changes things up a little bit, and now it appears that Chen is 1st and 3rd shot, while Feldman is 2nd. And so Feldman, I think, is looking to maybe tap back the red as she's got the broom on that red rock. Maybe also considering, hitting the yellow. I would err towards getting rid of the yellows, just because that single red there could be trouble later in the end if Chen gets rid of it, and then then they're giving up multiple points. Cameron Spangler gets set in the hat for his shots. Looking to throw some weight. I think just looking to hit it on the schnoz, although Feldman waves them off. Feldman is sweeping, I think, just trying to clean it, and now it needs to curl up to get some contact. It does clip one of the yellows onto the other one, so it does get rid of one of the rots and moves it around. Now both rots in the house are exposed. So a positive outcome. I think it would have been better if they stuck around, that red stuck around, but there could have been a double possibility there. And now for Cindy and Denzel. Denzel. Looks like the takeout attempt coming. So they're swooping. I think they're. She's shaking her head. I wonder if it's not quite on target. Now Chen's calling them off. Looks like it might be overcurling just a smidge. I think it's going to just blow right past it. Chen stops it. And so now the opportunity is open for Feldman to sit 2, looking to hit the yellow back and then roll, I think maybe a little under the red. Or even if it rolls wide, it wouldn't be bad, because it kind of splits things up. If they hit on the nose or they roll under the red, there's a double possibility for Chen to take advantage of. Here is Spangler with his last here in the 4th end. Up the 4th end. Looks pretty close. So it does hit the yellow and it does roll towards the button. There is a double possibility there for Cindy's last shots. However, I think Chen is just going to clear the top red first, and I think maybe if they get lucky, get both. But this is Cindy's second shots. They seem more confident this time as it goes down the ice. Mendoza put some elbow grease into a sweep here. I think looking to hold it straight. So it does get one, and the shooter will roll to the side there. The shooter does roll to the 8-foot on the left side, instead sticks around. And so Feldman could, I think, maybe hits the yellow out and sits 2. It really depends on what Feldman wants to do. I really think if they want to force, though, they would get rid of the yellow on the left side, and then Chen is forced to make a play probably on the shot stone, and then Feldman hits them back, and then the force is on, just like a Star Wars movie. Actually, if I did like a knockoff Star Wars, that would be the title of the film. And then I would get sued by Lucasfilm, and then I'd be back to broadcasting curling. The lucrative field of curling broadcasts. Very glad to have you guys here. It is a volunteer effort, but definitely thankful for MoPac for their help in covering travel costs. And just to help, it's a great joy to help share the gift of curling and showcasing the talent that we have in this region to other clubs in our area and around the world. So it looks like they want to just draw, I think maybe... They are drawing. I think they want to put it in the 12-foot or higher. I don't know about this shot. I think getting rid of the yellow would have been my call, but they might be seeing stuff on the ice and they have different skill sets than I do. So this could work out. As the stone comes down the ice, they're sweeping on it. It needs to curl up a bunch. Looks like it's going to be maybe touch the 12-foot as it hits the brakes, and it'll hit the brakes in the guard zone, and then the shot stone on the button is open, and so this is the downside of that shot because it was missed, and so now Chen can hit out the red and be sitting 2, and then Feldman is going to be behind the 8 ball to avoid giving up 2 here. So. A slight miss, but that's the game. As Will Chen makes his way down the sheets to the hack. And Cindy and Denzel has the room down for a takeout. And here we go with Will Chen's first here with the hammer. They're just kind of following it down. Sweepers are just escorting it. It needs to curl maybe just a little bit more. And oh my goodness, it's a miss. So against the odds, Feldman has a chance to now get rid of the yellow and then sit 2, and then the force is on. They're looking on that side by the yellow. I don't know if they're going to go that way. Let's say they're going to try the draw again. Stefan's here. He's not on mic, but Stefan, what are you thinking about the strategy to try and guard that shot still? Why are they not really going after that yellow on the wings? Because if they go after the yellow on the wings, I mean,
I think that would split the house. That's probably what I would do.
And
Just to have the split house.
Yeah, I mean, you want to have 2 in the house, so Chen can't get rid of both, right? I mean, they're guarding. I mean, putting up a guard to protect shot rock is an option. I mean, we saw how she was light last time, and obviously, when you give a curler 2 chances at the same shot, the odds of them missing the second shot are very low, unless it's just an absolute bizarre shot or the ice is a little wonky. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. They might be seeing something we're not. Rock's underway. Looking for a guard. I mean, I also think if they were sitting, I don't know. This is so odd. So it's over curling now.
That's the big risk there, going the other direction, going across the face like that.
So Chen has the chance for 2 again. I mean, it's an interesting strategy, and people have different ways to call games, and people have different shots they're comfortable with. So. But at the end of the day, Chen has a chance for 2, and we'll see if Chen can cash in. Also because, again, he's doing the same shot down the same path that he just threw. And again, the odds of making the shot on the second try are much higher. So, although, yeah, we'll see what happens here. This is a chance for 2 to take a 5-1 lead heading into the halftime. The hologram, Michael Jackson's just warming up. I don't know why holograms need to warm up before they go on stage, but that's true. That's true. I can see that. All right, looking for a hit for 2, hit and sit for 2. Shots coming down the ice. They're sweeping to hold the line. It looks pretty good. Hits it right on the schnoz. 4-2. So Chen adds 2 to his lead. Heading into the halftime break, it is Chen 5, Feldman 1. As we're going to take a pause from the feature sheet. We're going to go around the rings to show how the other games are going, and then we'll be back with the second half of the action from the 2023 MoPac Mixed Playdowns, coming to you live from Coyotes Curling Club in Tempe, Arizona. We'll be back in just a moment.
Does that help at all? No.
It helps ever so slightly. All right, so we're not going to go around the rings because, funnily enough, all the sheets are on their halftime break. So we're going to welcome us into the warm room here for the halftime show. Not the Michael Jackson hologram halftime. It's me. Sorry to be disappointing, but I'm used to it by now. All right, so looking to do a quick update here. Looking at sheet A, Team Endicott with the red rocks playing Team Ewers with the yellow. Endicott has jumped to a pretty sizable lead of 7-2. 7-3, my apologies, thank you. 7-3. So Endicott in the driver's seat there. On sheet B, that's a high-scoring back and forth affair. Looks like the Red Rocks from Team Howells of Hollywood. They took a 4 spot in the fourth end for a 7-5 lead over Team Mallard of Silicon Valley. Sheet C is our feature sheet again, as Team Chen put up a 3 spot, the 2 spot. Yeah. Don't want to misstate it, but he does have a 5-1 lead currently over Team Feldman from Wine Country. And then sheet D, as in Dingo, we have Team Students of the Red Rocks holding a 5-3 lead over Team Stephanie from Wine Country. So that brings you up to date on all the action currently during the draw from the 2023 MoPac Mixed Playdowns. And as always, we do have live scores being posted to bondspieler.com. Bondspieler.com. If you can't be at a Bondspiel, go to bondspieler.com. None of these slogans have been approved by bondspieler.com, by the way. They've actually asked me to stop with the slogans, but the heart wants what the heart wants. Bondspieler.com. So this is the last of our Friday triple header. Coming up tomorrow, we can have 3 or 4 games, depending if we need tiebreakers, as pool play concludes. We do know that the first 2 games of pool play will start at 9:30 a.m. And then we will have a pool play conclude with a 1:30 game. And then depending on whether or not we need tiebreakers, we can have another afternoon tiebreaker or go right into the semifinals tomorrow, Saturday night. So please stay tuned to the MoPac Facebook page and our MoPac YouTube channel for the latest details. So we're going to head back on the ice in just a moment while I rest my throat. As we are about to get underway with the 5th end here at the MoPac Mixed. Hello, America and curling fans from Canada and Newfoundland. This is your host, Ryan, with you as we continue with the latest action from the 2023 MoPac Mixed Playdowns, coming to you live and in color from the Coyotes Curling Club. We tried to do a black and white broadcast, and it was not as well received as we thought it could have been. I also tried to talk in old-timey speak, dag nabbit, but dadgum, it wasn't working out by the Dickens. Also, to use old-timey phrases for 2 hours at a time was very, very difficult. I could also use 90s slang. You know, that shot was totally tubular.
You did spend the 90s in California.
I spent a decent amount of the 90s in California. Looks like Feldman's about to shred some stones here. No. We could do this for an end, but I don't think we could do it for an entire game. I don't think the audience would be happy to have us talk 90s, you know, California lingo for the entire game.
To replicate. Yeah, like, you gotta be dressed right.
Well, that was a pretty fetch shot there, using some Mean Girls lingo. I mean, I am going to keep trying to make fetch happen until they say otherwise. So. But it's nice to get feedback, though. You know, even when it's like, "Please, dear God, no, please, 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 no." Looks like Chen is asking Mendoza to draw around the center-ish guards. So it looks like we got a bit of a limbo line happening along the left side of the center line. A Congo line, shall we say. I mean, you line up to do limbo, right? It's not like a free-for-all for limbo. You have to line up to go under the pole. Although if I tried to limbo today, they would need to set the bar at 5 feet 10 inches because that is my height. I will not. Going backwards into limbo is not probably possible given my physical state. But that's going to be the halftime show tomorrow, limbo contest. We will not be airing the limbo contest to preserve the dignities of all participants. Although we could change the names to protect the innocent and the guilty. Here's Mendoza's net shot coming down the way. I think Jasmine likes it. Sweepers are just escorting it down, just like a Secret Service escorting the president down a parade line. Looks like it's got a bit of pace on it, as Feldman will be able to jump on it to sweep it. It's going to chef's kiss the red in the back. And the shooter will hang around in the back of the house for fourth shot. Right now it looks like Feldman is sitting 1 and 3 as Sharon delivers from next rock. Chen is second and fourth in the house. Also, during tomorrow's halftime shows, we're also going to find ways to annoy the Ice Techs, including having like a glitter bomb party. And then once they find my body, we can continue with the broadcast.
Just drop it up.
Yeah.
You can get rice. No.
I need a cooler nickname, but yeah. Obviously, the Ice Techs have been doing a great job, and I would not do anything to annoy them beyond anything I'm already doing. Hopefully, it's not deliberate. So it looks like Cindy's going for a draw around here. Looks like it's got a decent amount of pace on it, so Feldman's going to again have a chance to jump on it and maybe escort it from the premises. It's going to jam on the back yellow. So the situation is Feldman is sitting first, third, and fourth, and Chen is sitting second and fifth. So lots of rocks in play this end, as it looks like Feldman is asking Spangler to draw around. Rocks have been kind of coasting a little bit further than they were expecting on this side, so let's see if Spangler has his weight dialed in. Also, perhaps to keep people entertained, spirits up, is to have a water balloon fight on the ice. tomorrow. That'd be nuts. Hey, don't never do that for many, many reasons. Not only because, you know, it would be an epic disaster for the curling ice, but you don't want people walking on wet ice, because that is also a recipe for physical harm. So please don't do a water balloon fight on ice. Just file that away in the bad ideas folder. So that draw was just a smidge on the light side, so now Denzel is going to, I think, just take it out and have another yellow counter in the house. This is a potentially a good end for Feldman to get a couple points back on the board. It does wreck on the guard, and it looks like the shooter, I believe, is going to go out of play. So it does open things up. Curious to see what Feldman will do here. Looks like they want to just tap that red up. That looks like a pretty decent call. The angles on the yellow on the left side of the center line, I don't think worked super great for Feldman. So just a heavy draw to tap that red in the top of the house back towards the button. Seems like a pretty good call. So this looks pretty good. Brian Feldman is looking to push it over. Looks like it does make contact, and it does, waiting to see the overhead or this view. It looks like it does push the red back to the button, and now Feldman is sitting 2. However, the shooter rolled, or the shooter's a little to the right. Let's see if we can get a better view here. The shooter rolled to the left from this view, so there is a port to maybe to do a takeout, because I think if he throws a takeout, he can get both of those reds moving. He might lose a shooter, but then yellow would be sitting shot. You know, Chen and Denzel are looking at these angles here, and what the possible outcome is. And with curling, you're looking at all the possible outcomes. You can spend all day looking at the possible outcomes, which is why we have teams on a clock. It can be really fascinating to watch, especially during top-level events when the players are mic'd. You can hear them talk about the different angles. Here you have me trying to just imagine what they might be talking about, including where they might be going out to dinner. Because obviously joking, but there's a lot of fine restaurants in the Stunty area. They're obviously, I say obviously, they're almost certainly not talking about what to eat for dinner, even though it is beef. That's what's for dinner. By the way, we are still seeking sponsors for this event, for our coverage. Yeah, get the Beef Council in on this. No, because also, like, I say this somewhat jokingly, but I think Kevin Cooey was sponsored by a beef board up in Alberta. And then the Canadian Beef Board sponsored the Masters, and so it was like the Beef Masters up north for a while. So if you're a sponsor of meat, any type of meat or fake meat, we're not picky. You know, consider sponsoring our broadcast. And if you are interested in sponsoring our broadcast or competitions or MoPac in general, you can visit mopacca.org and click on the contact link on the right-hand side of the page. We are looking to hear from you, Beef Council and beyond. That could be your tagline, by the way. So. Beyond Meat and the Beef Council working together. All right, so the broom's down. I think they're looking for perhaps like a heavy draw, maybe backline to board weight. I think he's looking to get those reds moving off the button, but maybe stick around. And here's his shot. Looks like he's throwing more boards to control weights. Those are types of takeout shots. Looks like it's going to be through the ports. So this looks like he's going to get both of the reds. It's one of the reds moving and the other red jammed. So it does improve the situation for Chen. Chen does have one rock remaining, although it is Feldman with the hammer and a chance to score multiple points here. For Feldman, though, they have a fairly decent setup if they can get rid of that yellow. That yellow from the overhead looks like a better angle from the overhead than it does from this view that Katie's standing in front of. Looking from the side, so it looks like they want to run the red that Cameron's pointing at. And so basically, if they hit the red onto the yellow, then Feldman is going to be sitting 4 or 5, and that's going to be obviously a bueno outcome, as it could say. So it looks like. So I thought they might try and take out the yellow, but it looks like they're just going to draw into the pile as Spangler has the broom down. Feldman makes her way to the hatch. So interesting shot. They could be setting up for a more upweight shot than her last. But here is her shot coming down the ice. I think it looks pretty good for a guard, which is what they're doing. I think they were concerned that Chen could do the takeout again. So now, with that shot delivered, I don't know if Chen has easy access to the button. He could be content to give up a force here. So someone was talking about junior rocks that we have at the Oval. Not related to this broadcast, but I'm talking about it as part of the broadcast because I'm on mic. So we do have a set of junior stones at the Oval. Whenever we have a super young player, like we have like a 7 and a 12-year-old curling, and so we would bring them out to have them use it. However, they pretty much quickly go to the granite rocks because the concrete junior stones, which weigh half the weight of junior stones, they don't curl as effectively as granite stones. So they pretty quickly move to the full granite stones. But we did bring them out at least twice in the last year. No, I mean so sometimes we have like when we have a young player playing, we have them maybe throw the junior rocks and then. But they're not very often mixed in. It's a tricky situation. Speaking of tricky situations, looks like Denzel has the broom down for Will Chen's last year. And she is delivering, I think, just going to try and like guard up that path. I think if this shot is made, then Feldman has a draw on the right side from this view to kind of draw around all those guards and like touch the forefoot, and that would get the second shot. But this is going to be a tough draw. The guard is made. I don't see a super easy path. And also, like Feldman felt the Chen shot kind of blocks any sort of real run back. Timeout on sheet C. And they've called it. It's Feldman's. So Feldman has 90 seconds to talk about their options here. Let's see if we can listen in with the power of modern technology. kind of hard to hear them, so I'm just going to turn down the sound here. As they look over their options, I think they are just going to try a double raise, or this could be a tricky shot here. I think, depending on if they hit it right, I think they're going to try and side hit, hit the red that's closest to Spangler on the right edge, and kind of angle raise, kind of hit the red onto the yellow, chip out that yellow 4-5. This is going to be a very key shot for Feldman. Really cool that she was able to see that. And this is going to be a key shot here. Sweepers are going at it hard. It looks like it's over curling. So around the guard. This one, this two, chips out the yellow. My goodness, and gets a 4 spot there. So what an excellent shot. I think that's worthy of a replay. Hard. It looks like it's over curling. So around the guard. This one, this two, chips out the yellow. My goodness, and gets a 4 spot there. So what an excellent shot. I think that's worthy. So in one fell swoop, Feldman adds 4 to the board to tie things up with Chen. It's a whole new ball game, as the kids say. And we'll be back in just a moment when we continue with our coverage from the 2023 MoPac Mixed Playdowns. And we're back to our coverage here. We're going to go around the rings in a moment, but what a great end from Team Feldman, and I think great use of their timeout to talk over their options and really see a shot that was there, but definitely required great coordination and team cooperation to make it happen. So as Brian Feldman delivers his first rock, let's go around the rings real quick. As I mentioned, all the scores are posted on bondspealer.com. It appears that on sheet A, the matchup between Team Endicott of Coyotes taking on Team Ewers of Hollywood, does appear that Endicott is about to break the scoreboard, as it were, as he added 5 in the 5th end. And it looks like it's 5. It looks like it's 12-3, I believe. After 5, they're coming home here in the 6th. I'm pulling up bondspealer.com because even the experts rely on bondspealer.com for their score results. 9 out of 10 dentists agree. Bondspealer.com is the place to go for curling scoring results. I don't know why they asked Doc Dentist that, but glad they did. Yes, it is 12-3 on sheet A. On sheet B, the back and forth game between Team Howells of Hollywood and Mallarich of Silicon Valley has swung back in favor. Oh, it hasn't swung back. Howells is still up after the 5th end. However, so they have been going back and forth. Mallarich opened the scoring with 2. Howells responded 3. And then Mallarich responded with a 3 of his own in the 3rd end, and then Howells posted a 4 spot. And then in the 5th end, Mallarich got 1 back, and so now the score after 5 is 7, Howells, Mallarich 6. On sheet C, that's our feature sheet, Feldman posted that 4 spot to get back in this game. They're all square 5-5. Feldman tied with Chen. And then on sheet D, which stands for dentists for this recap, looks like Sidians added 2 more to his leads with a deuce in the 5th. And so it is Team Sidians of Coyotes and more. Sidian 7, Stephanie from One Country 4. So again, just as I just did, I pulled up the scores on bondspieler.com. You can too. Join the Dentists of America and visit bondspieler.com.
It's the bond.
It's the bond dignity. Ooh, man. I'd say we're on fire tonight, but we're always on fire. So it looks like we're seeing here a no-tech rule violation on our feature sheet, sheet C, where Feldman has elected to reset the center guard that was ticked ever so slightly off the line, and the shooter's lost. So here is Leanne Shearing's next rock coming down the way. And this looks pretty good for another guard. It's going to kind of draw into the pile, create some staggered guards. So Leanne Shearing moved her rock off the center line, but you can move your own rocks off the center line at any point. It's just when the opposing team does it, then that's a no bueno. Yes, as the kids say. They say the darndest things. Here's that Tim Mendoza's net shot coming down the way. Looking for some clearing action. So the guard zone and the no-tick rule are in effect for the first rock to the end. That is now over, and so now Mendoza's just going to start blowing some stuff up here. Going to make some granite fly. And he gets 1 yellow out of the way. There's still a bit of a mini Gibraltar of rocks out there. And the angles, I think, still favor Feldman ever so slightly, as Shearing is about to make her next delivery. Spangler's jumping on it now. Feldman's joining in for the sweep. It looks pretty good. They need to make sure it gets around all those guards. I don't know if it's got the weight to do so, so it's just going to kind of go into the pile here. So it does go into the pile, and we just have another guard. And Chen also feels the situation is no bueno, and is asking for a bueno shot from Mendoza. Getting me a thesaurus is probably the biggest mistake anyone's ever made. Let's see, Mendoza here, I think looking to make more than 1 rock go out. He's going to get 2, I believe. He gets 1 of the reds, and the other red squirts to the side. It's going to hang around, though, but moves it off the center. So good outcome by Mr. Mendoza. Yes, as Stefan pointed out, the red shot rock in the back forfeit is open. However, it looks like Feldman's elected to draw around on this side again. I'm curious about why they're not going on the other side, because if they go on the other side, even if it's guard, it improves their situation a little bit. But let's see what Cameron Spangler has on deck here with his first. I think he's saying it's there. The sweepers are just kind of walking it down. It looks really good, so that's why they drew that side. What a great shot. And also it helps their angles. So now Mendoza, it's going to be really hard to move all 3 of those guards, pardon me. So he's looking to draw on the left side now. So let's see what Cindy has on tap with her draw. Let's a little upweight. It kind of makes sense. I think they haven't been on this side as much this end. As the rock goes merrily along the ice. hear the roar of the rocks as it goes down the ice. It looks like it's hanging out a little bit more. We'll see if it has a finish here. That was a 13-4 hog-to-hog time, so that it kisses the red in the back 4 and rolls to the back 8. So that does, I think, tend to jive with my thought that shot T line weight, as measured from hog to hog, is about 14.5 seconds. 13.4 seconds is just a little up weight, and we saw that there. And so now looks like Feldman wants Spangler to go around again on the right side. Looks like about the same type of shots. He's not as enthusiastic about the outcome of the shots compared to last time. This one's hanging out a little bit more. I think they maybe want, if it's a guard, that's fine. That's 14.1 seconds by my watch, and so that's pretty close to T. And it settles in the top 8. I think if they were sweeping it more, it would have been more. But that's also probably a good indication that maybe T is closer to 14 seconds. And you know, players are kind of keeping track of how fast the rocks are moving on the ice. Being able to read the ice is as important to curling as being able to read a green is in golf. And sometimes those skills translate. Being able to hit a really great drive off a tee doesn't translate that well, but being able to read a green and being able to read the ice are pretty good skill sets to acquire, to excel in both. This shot here from Cindy, it looks to be a lot closer to being on the money. The sweepers are on it now, but I don't think it's going to get much further than the guard zone as it rests just above the house. Looks to be about a rock and a half, 2 rocks above the zone of the house. Call it a fence, as it were. It's a nice picket fence being built. So, just like that, we're 2 skip stones as Feldman and Spangler talk about the shots. Looking at what to do. I think what they're looking to do is to put up draw into the house. They're looking at a guard, which I think that makes sense. I was thinking about going into the house. I think they were considering going into the house initially, because if they go into the house and they put a rock in the 8-foot, kind of along the same line as the red there in the white zone, then Chen really couldn't chip it out. However, it looks like they're trying to prevent any sort of run back, which is, it's fine. There's more than one way to peel an apple, as the kids say. As Feldman gets set in the hack here. They used to say skin a cat, but come on, guys.
Stop skinning.
Why are we skinning cats in the year 2023? Yeah, please don't do it. Which is how Bob Barker used to end episodes of The Price is Right, saying, "Hey guys, don't skin cats," but then he changed it, to get your animals spayed or neutered. So probably a better message overall, but for a while things were real. So it looks like here, I think the guard is made. It looks like it over curled ever so slightly, but it's in a good place. The run back's not there. So now looks like Chen's looking to attack from the right side. And so for having control of a lot of this game, Chen's now chasing, and Feldman's in a really great place without hammer to steal or force Chen to just one here. But I'm trying to find ways for Chen to get access to the button, and I'm not really seeing it. I think one thing they could do is maybe look to do a setup shot, perhaps in off. Maybe on the right side from this view would be on the left side from the other view. They have plenty of time. They have 10 minutes to play just over 2 ends, so they got plenty of time. They have it set up. I think they're looking to maybe run the reds. You see where Cindy has the broom positioned just to the right of her body, just to the left of her body, pardon me. I think he's going to try and run the red back into the reds and just kind of, shake up the apple cart, as it were. Still on this apple kick.
You're using a knife there.
What goes with beef? American apples. So.
Beef, it's as American as apple pie.
Here's the shot. Looking to get some granite moving here. Here's Chen with his first with the hammer. Line looks pretty good to get one moving. Oh, it jams on the yellow in the back. One of the reds moves to the back 12, so he doesn't get the reds out of the house, but he gets them moving to a situation where it is now Feldman is sitting first, third, and fourth, and Chen is sitting second shot on the wing. So a very positive outcome for Chen. That was a great shot there. And so now I think what Feldman's going to do is I think they're looking to draw. Again, depending on the skill set you would have, like a team that's more comfortable with hitting, would I think just hit the yellow out. So then Feldman's sitting 4 rocks. So it looks like while Feldman's getting set in the hack, looks like it's game over on sheet A with Endicott closing out Team Ewers. We'll get a final score in a moment as the officials' game record comes down. Here's Katie Feldman's last rock here without hammer, looking for a draw, I believe. Sweepers are on it. I think they want to sit second shot. Sitting second with a draw is good. However, it looks like it might be over curling. It is over curling a little bit. It's going to turn into a guard, and so now Chen is going to draw for his one. As we were mentioning, Team Endicott, unless Mewers had a miracle end, Endicott did defeat Mewers. What was the final on that, Stefan? So it shook after
12-4.
Okay, so Mewers added one in the last end, which would be end 6, and that was it. So here's Chen's last coming down the ice as the sweepers jump on it. Hashi and Mendoza are going after it. It looks pretty good. Ooh, it's over curling as well. So both teams kind of misreading the ice on that side, and it's going to be a steal of 1 for Team Feldman. So Feldman is going to take the lead here. As we go into the 7th, Team Chen is going to have the hammer when we come back to our coverage of the 2023 MoPac Mixed Playdowns, coming to you live in color in stereophonic surround sound from Tempe, Arizona. We'll be right back. So we are back here at the 2023 MoPac Mixed Playdowns. We are in the second day of pool play, and we're going to have 2 more draws tomorrow, starting at 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time and at 1:30 Mountain Time. Those are our pool play draws, and then if we have, we'll have playoffs start in the evening, depending on how many playoffs we need. So just while they're getting started with the rocks here in the 7th ends, looking at the pools here, the game that just ended, which was Endicott taking on Ewers, Endicott seems to have punched his ticket to the playoffs. We have 2 pools of 6 teams each, and each team will, each pool will advance 2 teams to the semifinals. So it looks like Endicott has a 4-0 record. He has 1 game to play. I think at most he can tie for the top of the table because every other team has at least one loss to their name. So I think you can say for almost certain that Endicott's going to be in the playoffs. I'm hoping to feature him when he does. That team does. Team Maxey has a 3-1 record. He is next on the table, and then Muir's is at 2-2, and they have the next best records. But Muir's, I think, needs probably a little bit of luck to move on to the next round. Muir's will be playing Mallarich on our feature sheets tomorrow morning at 9:30. In Pool B, the top of the table right now is Siggins, and Siggins is on the ice right now with a 3-0 record. Also in the pool, looks like Team McDonald and Team LeClaire have 3-1 records, and so that's also going to be interesting to see what shakes out there. And so we'll keep you up to date with who's on top of the pools and who will advance to the knockout round, to borrow a soccer term, later tonight and tomorrow as we continue with our coverage from the mixed playdowns. So, rock coming from Jasmine here. I think looking to draw around the corner-ish guard that was put up, but it looks like this is going to, it does miss the red rock that was on the center line, I believe. And it goes through the house out of play. And so now Feldman was asking Leanne to draw around those corner guards that that Team Feldman worked so hard to put up. So her shot's underway. So it looks like it's around the guards, I think. It might settle in at the top of the house. That was a really great shot by Leanne there as it settles in the top 4. And now it's going to be Tim Mendoza tasked with demolition duty. Let's see if he is going to take out the bulldozer here. Looks like he's going to get one of the rocks. I don't know if it's going to get both. Gets one. Oh, and it chips the red in the house, and it's going to go through the house out of play. That's a nice takeout, double takeout there by Tim Mendoza. Let's see that again. Looks like he's going to get one of the rocks. I don't know if it's going to get both. Gets one. Oh, and it chips the red in the house, and it's going to go through the house out of play. That's a nice takeout, double takeout there by Tim Mendoza. So it looks like Leanne's shot was short, and Tim Mendoza is being asked to dial his way back for a draw. Let's see if he's on the money here. That looks pretty close. Sweepers like what they see as they are off of it, and now it's going to come to rest. Back 8, I believe, touching the 12. So that's a nice adjustment by Tim to to throw up weight the first shot and to dial it back down for a draw. And so it looks like Feldman is asking Cameron Spangler, her third, to essentially follow Mendoza down as he releases his shots. They're walking it down, not laying a broom on it. Now the sweepers are going. It was a 12. It's about 13 seconds hog to hog. So this is a bit heavy. It's going to go to the back of the house, and it's going to hit the yellow that's back there. So it did follow Mendoza down. It is now red sitting shot, and the scoring area narrows. Some people in the warm room were very excited about what's happening on sheet D. We're going to be interested to see what happens there in a moment. For now, this is Cindy's shot coming for Team Mendoza. Looks like she threw a little up weight there. This looks pretty good. Sweepers again, like a lot of these shots, the sweepers are just kind of walking it down. It looks like it's going to finish maybe a little bit wide actually as the sweepers go to finish. It does, I think, maybe rub off of the red slightly and creates a bit of a pocket. Creates a bit of a pocket on the in the back of the house. So it looks like Feldman's asking Spangler to basically throw the same type of shots, maybe just a little bit more ice here. And so I'm thinking that they're, I think they want to be higher up in the house than they have been. So hopefully, I think the lighter the better. And we'll see what is on tap from Spangler's last here. A bit of a positive release there. Sweepers again, just walking it down the ice. That's 14 seconds there, hog to hog. So it's lighter. Now the sweepers are going on it. They want to keep it high, I believe, as they're working to finish it. And I think it's going to finish about top 8. Top 4. Ashley's touching the edge of the button. So now I think that, okay, so that does also coincide with my belief that T weight hog to hog is about 14 seconds. So again, the teams on the ice are doing their own timing, but this kind of helps us keep an eye on things as well. The ice is pretty close to at speed, maybe a smidge on the slower side than we sent earlier. Looks like Cindy's been asked for some demolition works, and it's going to run the guard through the house out of play. It does open things up. So here it looks like Feldman sitting 2 with Chen sitting 3 and 4 in the back 12, and so this is a chance for Feldman to really close the door and make it really hard for Chen to get both of those reds out here with skip stones. So we are to skip stones here. Looks like on sheet D, part of the cheering was about having to get the biter bar out. So it's one of those bars, one of those devices we have in curling that doesn't see a lot of use, but when you need it, you need it. And the biter bar is used to determine if a rock is within the rings or is touching the rings. And it's a very simple 6-foot long bar, just to go from the center bar, so sorry, from the center of the house out to the edge. So looking here, Spangler's got the broom down for a draw. I definitely think they're looking to guard here. As Feldman is looking at the shots. I think maybe looking at the ice a little bit here. And here she comes out of the hack. Looking for, I believe, a draw for a guard. Sweepers are on it. And this might be over curling out of hand because the sweepers are much closer to the center line than I was thinking they were. It may have picked something because the sweepers were off it and then they kicked the rock. So it looks like maybe a picked stone there. So just a missed opportunity there for Team Feldman. So it looks like Chen has a chance to get rid of at least one of the Feldman Reds. The room is down for a takeout as Chen makes his way down the ice. Cindy's got the broom down, looking for a takeout. I'm thinking maybe a little bit of a roll to sit 2. I mean, I guess also if they're able to make a double, that would be awesome. Let's see what sort of shot Chen has dialed up. Looking for up weight here. So this is pretty close for 1. It does nose it. And so now it is Chen sitting 1 and Feldman is sitting 2, 3. And Chen's got 4 and maybe 5 on the wing, but I don't think that 5th stone at the top of the house is going to come into the play. So for Feldman, it would make sense to hit that yellow out, but then there's the potential for disaster if it jams on the back there, the red in the back. So it looks like they are going to go for the hit as Spaniel has the broom down for his skip. I think looking for control weights. Hopefully they're cleaning the ice if there was a pick, so to avoid another pick on the ice. Feldman's looking things over as she steps into the hack. Looking to hit it, I think, just on the right of center. They don't want to nose hit it. If anything, they probably want it to over curl slightly. So not just to the right of center would probably be the target as Feldman takes another look at it and pushes out of the hack. Pretty nice release. It looks to be a heavy board to control as the sweepers, as Brian Feldman jumps on it now. Sharing starts sweeping. Needs to hit just to the left of the center. Ooh, this could be bad. Oh no. Okay, not a bad outcome actually.
That was just like my signature.
So it did jam on the red in the back. However, there was enough force for the jam to then go back onto the yellow. So it looks like the yellow second stone moved, and also the red shot moved. So it is still Feldman sitting 2 here, and not a chance for Chen to get 2 points here. Is going to be, I think, forced to do a nose hit for 1. Opting for the hit instead of the draw as he pushes out a hack with his last. And Mendoza's sweeping on it now as it goes down the ice. Looking for a nose hit. That's all they need. It looks pretty close. They don't want to have it roll too far. And oh my goodness, let's to just hang on to the edge of the 8-foot for 1. So very taut ends. Chen does get that 1. And so now we are all tied up with Feldman holding the hammer coming home. Before we get to that last end of action, let's go around the rings real quick where we had another game exit the ice. Exhumed a bear, apparently. That's going to be on sheet B, as in, boy, did you see that? Or in honor of Huell Hauser, like, boy, would you take a look at that? That's my very awesomely lame Huell Hauser impersonation. I am wearing a tan jacket, though, so I think I'm excused. So, so sheet B wrapped up after 5 ends. Let me ask Stefan here how that game ended. Stefan, how did sheet B end? Because the score sponsor is not updated.
5-13.
Okay, so they stopped posting numbers after like the 5th end, but basically Malarick decided to score a 4 in the 6th and then stole. Oh, Howells, I'm misreading that. So Howells scored 4 in the 6th and then stole 2 in the 7th, and Mallory said that was enough, and the final there is going to be 10-5. So Howells getting another win on the board there. On sheet D, the other game that's in action right now, Team Siggins with the Red Rocks out of Coyotes and more has a 10-5 lead over Team Stephanie from one country. So it looks like to be just a matter of running Team Stephanie out of rocks, although Stephanie does have the hammer here in the last end. 13-5. I have a hard time reading people's handwriting. Maybe a bunch of doctors in the house. There are a number of doctors here, so it's interesting to see the type of professionals, people from all walks of life at these events and stuff. So back to our feature sheets, where we're all tied. This is the closest game on the ice right now, and is the best game you can name, the girl curling game, to heavily plagiarize a song by Tom Collins. But you know, I'm alive and he's not, so who's winning there? I'm joking, of course. Tom Collins is a legend, and we definitely miss him. So Feldman draws into the house. They have the hammer as well here. Here's Jasmine's last rock here. Coming down the ice, sweepers are on it. It's probably going to be more of a guard here. That does turn into a center guard, and the five rock rule and the no tick rule is in effect for two more rocks here, as we're going to see Brian Feldman throw his next here. Looks like they're going to try and draw around the other center guard. So his shot's coming down. It looks like it has enough to get around the center guard into the house. Cameron and Leanne are sweeping really hard to get the rock to the button. So great sweep and great shot there by Brian Feldman. Here's Tim Mendoza's net shot coming down the way. So this is Tim Mendoza's first. This is the fifth rock at the end, so they can start clearing guards at the end of this. So this is needs to kind of curl back a little bit more. It's hanging out. The line was good. I think the weight was just a smidge off as it comes to rest back to the button. So it does provide backing for the rocks in front of the house. The warm room is kind of hopping now as teams have gotten off the ice, and people have kind of gathered to watch the last two games on the ice. Here is Leanne's first, looking for a draw, I believe. So they're swooping on it really hard. The line, again, looks pretty good. I think that they want to keep it high so Chen can't have any sort of backing to draw to. Brian puts a final polish on it, and it comes to rest as a corner freeze on the shot stone. And Chen wastes no time in telling Mendoza to get those rocks moving. And we do have the sheet D game coming off the ice as the volume in the war room increases dramatically. And it looks like Mendoza's shots. Looking for, I think, hack weights was the call. Looking to move both of those reds. It is around the center guard. It's going to make contact. It gets both reds moving. The second red rolls ever so slightly to the right side, and is now Chen sitting shots. So now a bit of a conundrum for Feldman to look here. I think she's looking to maybe draw into the pile. She was initially looking to maybe blow things up, but I think she's looking to. I think she's still looking to blow things up. Asking Leanne to do, I think, a hack weight take out into the pile here. Spangler jumps on the shots. Needs to make sure it doesn't over curl. That was about 12 seconds, so that is, I think, pretty close to hack weight. It gets the yellow moving. The shooter rolls to the left side of the wing, and it still appears to be Chen sitting 1, but there's a lot of red around there. Cindy and Denzel just goes back to the hack to get ready for her shots. So it looks like he wants to just kind of draw on top of the pile in the 4-foot area. I'm curious about. I wonder if he's hoping for a freeze, perhaps, as Cindy does her release. Weight looks pretty good. Sweeper's just walking it down. Now Mendoza's on it. Sweeping pretty hard. I think making sure it doesn't over curl, but it looks like it might be over curling as it does wreck on the guard there. Pushes it over. And so now it opens up another port for Feldman to take advantage of. So Feldman's actually calling for, I think, a takeout weight there, looking for the best way to do it at it. Spangler, I think, was looking for the counterclockwise rotation. I think that's not a bad outcome, as she's looking at the best way to put the broom down. She's opting for the clockwise rotation, looking for control weight here. Or bumpers, board weight, so it's going to be heavier than a draw as Spangler pushes out of the hack. Got the weight up. Let's see if it's going to be on the money here. It's going to be close. Looks like it's on the guard. But not a bad outcome. It gets rid of both of the yellow guards and is now red sitting in front of the house. So it does allow Feldman an opportunity to run that red back later in the end. So it looks like the front end's coming down to talk over the shot with their skip. I don't see them calling a timeout yet, but they're heading down the ice. So they're looking it over. I think the situation for Chen is that he is sitting shot, but as I mentioned, there's a lot of red in the wings there, and all it takes is pushing that yellow back a couple inches to really, to turn the game around. So Chen's looking it over. They got about 3 minutes to talk it over, so they do have plenty of time remaining, and I think they're still sitting on a timeout. So the conversation's over as the front end and Cindy go back to the hack. I say the front end, it was just Mendoza that went down. Most curling teams, they usually have just one member of the front end go down. Oh, it looks like Jasmine went down at least a little bit. So it looks like they're going to do the heavy draw, I believe. I think maybe to block the run back. So Cindy gets set in the hack, and here's her delivery. I think looking for a heavy draw. So sweepers are on it. I think that there's a concern about it might over curl again. That was about 15 seconds, I believe. It's going to settle in the top of the house. Actually, it's going to be a guard. So the run back is still there. They could also do a heavy draw and just like hit the red on the right side. That's where I think Feldman has the broom set up. So if they hit the red on the side, and then it'll chip the yellow out, and that shot worked really well for them in the fifth end where they got that 4. Feldman had just an awesome shot there. So I think looking for a hack weight again here. Here's Spangler's last. Looks like it might. Ooh, looks really good. He's got it. Wow. So he gets the granite moving. He gets the yellow out. They lose the red that was next to it, but at least one of the rocks sticks around. So there is a lot of red in the house right now. So now it is Feldman sitting 4. Some a pretty nice spread around the rings, and so looks like Chen is looking to maybe draw on the left side here. That side might be a little frosty for 2 reasons. That side of the ice, as teams leave the ice tends to get a little frosty and slows down. So this side might be a little bit slower than they're expecting. I think he's thinking if he can draw around successfully, it'd be hard for Feldman to get his stone out. So I don't think this is going to be a setup shot. I think that Chen wants to be shot after this delivery. He's talking things over with his front end. So shot's underway. Weight looks pretty good for a draw. I think you're looking still for maybe still around 14 seconds for T-line weights. It is curling up a bunch though, and it's going to, ooh, it does tick the guard. The sweepers were pounding that rock, or pounding the ice in front of the rock to try and get it a little further, but it just crashed on the guard. It was pretty close. And so Spangler and Feldman are looking at the situation. I think they could guard that side, although I think it's going to be difficult for Chen to get to be shot rock on that side. And then the danger I'm playing this side of the ice is that Chen could draw on the right side and sit shot, because all Chen would need to do is draw a full 4-foot. It's not an easy shot, but it might be a little easier than trying to feather through that port that is set up on the left side of the sheet here. The Feldmans are walking back to the hack. So Feldman, I think, looking to close the door. She's cleaning the rock. That's always a good strategy for curlers, to make sure the bottom of the rock is clear, so there's no debris that can stop the rock in its tracks. It's crazy how sensitive rocks can be at times. This is Feldman looking for a guard. So she threw it with a bit more weight. Sweepers, I think, are just cleaning right now as it goes down the ice. It needs to curl up a bit more than it is right now. Now the sweepers are going. That was about 16 seconds there. It is in the guard zone. That port is still there. From this head-on angle, it looks like Chen could nose hit and stick for 1, but he needs to be shot at the end of this, and any miss ends the game. Chen has just under 2 minutes to make this last shot, so he still has plenty of time, and I believe it's timeout. looking over the angles. I think the nose hits maybe the best approach. That's where they got the broom down. Chen has Cindy with the broom down as he makes his way toward the house. The hack. Kind of, I think, talking about what sort of shot to make with his front end there. So this is a key shot here. I think looking to do the out-turn counterclockwise rotation as he gets set. This is for the game here for Will Chen as his shot's underway. He's throwing hack weight there, board weight, pardon me. Sweepers are on it. Now they're just walking it down. Oh no, it wrecks on the guard and the shooter's going to roll out of play. And so that is going to be handshakes for both teams as Feldman will score 3 or 4, I believe. It was 4, thank you, the warm room. So Feldman gets their first win of the tournament with a decisive win over Team Chen. The final for this game is going to be 10-6, Feldman over Chen. Just to recap the outcomes of the games in this draw: Team Endicott over Team Ewers, Team Howells over Team Malarich. We just saw Team Feldman come from behind to secure the win against Team Chen, and then Team Sadins, I believe, won against Team Stephanie on sheet D. So that will wrap up our coverage here from the Friday night draw. We have another triple header on tap tomorrow. It could be a quadruple header depending on how things go. We will keep you updated on if tiebreakers are necessary. Just a reminder that this broadcast was presented by authority of the Mountain Pacific Curling Association. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Mountain Pacific Curling Association. We will be back tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. for a matchup between Team Malarich and the Team Ewers from Hollywood. Please do join us then. So for now, for all of us here at MoPac and the Coyotes Curling Club, this has been your host Ryan saying good night and good curling. Thank you so much.